posters around the classroom. Everyone's eyes moved to the window where a schoolhead stood, signaling his forefinger for my teacher to come outside. She stood up abruptly and hurriedly walked out of the classroom. She had never bolted out in the middle of a lesson before, and I wondered what kind of emergency this could be. It wasn't long before she reappeared. Her tearful eyes looked straight at me. I felt uncomfortable. I was only 9 years old. For some, I was naturally reserved. I hated any form of attention. The only time anyone noticed me in class was when I was called upon to collect prizes for top grades, which I worked very hard for. Now everyone stared at me as my teacher said in a gentle and hoarse voice, "Hasbi, come here." As I stood up, she pulled me by my hand and tried to bring me closer to her chest. She had a big bust, and like my mother, she was light in complexion. Many women were light in complexion because they used Pond's skin lightening cream. But my teacher was naturally light. I could tell because she did not have any black patches on her skin. She then led me outside the classroom, and I was surprised to see my uncle standing outside the door, tears streaming down his face. "My Hakuchina," he sobbed, "your mother is no more." I had heard she is no more many times before, but could not, at that age, understand what it really meant. His euphemism in Shona did not ring a bell. Death was such a scarred word. Many people were scared to even say it. It was taboo to mention it to a child. In fact, some people believed that when anyone died suddenly, it created a curse. I understand his hurt and tears more than his actual words. This uncle of mine had been very close to my mother, and that's why he was in so much pain. No more means you can't see that person again, and it's permanent loss, and it means forever. It meant I had no mother. It meant I was no more a daughter. It meant mother won't fulfill her duties no more. It meant a long journey ahead. As we neared home, a lot of activity was around the house. Many people going back and forth. At that moment, I had realized what had happened. 2 nights earlier, my mother had been beaten. Today, my mother had died. It was first-degree murder in the home. I had witnessed it and sympathized with both sides. Of course, for my mother, who never deserved this brutal way of suffering, and for my father, because while he meant to inflict pain, he did not mean to kill her. Despite my father's violence, my mother loved him and did a lot of care for him. She was the kindest woman and cleanest human being I have ever met. In St. Mary's Township, where we lived, the whole district was dirty. Open sewage ran where children played. People dumped anything and everything outside, including the newspapers they used to clean their private parts. There was no garbage collection. Nothing was clean, but our house stood out. It was an exception to our neighborhood.